Services provided by non-governmental organizations can sometimes be the only lifeline for many destitute communities, but the uncertain global economic situation puts more uncertainty on the future of these services. This is because NGOs rely solely on funding. What then should these NGOs do to find viable means of securing funding? To find out more on this story, we're very pleased to welcome Mr. Daniel Mathibedi, a global funding and CSI coach. Daniel, once again, what a pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning, Alicia. How are you doing?
The man that wears many hats. Hey, Daniel.
What can you do? What can you do? South Africa, someone has to get it right.
Absolutely. Well, tell us more about this latest initiative of trying to get people to understand as well as find funding for NGOs.
Fantastic. So, Alicia, what we've done as SABC, we will be embarking on a game changer initiative. Okay, we've realized that the NGOs, it's one sector which is so much lonely when coming to cash injection, when coming to sponsorship, when coming to funding. So we will be launching an initiative in the country called the Sponsorship and Fundraising Masterclass Incubator Program. Our mandate with that initiative, we're trying to enlighten them with the nitty-gritties and the pros and the cons, what goes into detail on sponsorship. We want to awaken the financial genius within the NGOs and the social enterprise businesses with that initiative. It's a game changer.
Daniel, a lot of people might feel like we saw in the Life Esidimeni tragedy now. A lot of people have this notion that NGOs only work or should only seek funding from government. Is this the right notion for them to have? Where else can they be outsourcing this funding?
You see, Alicia, there's quite a big leverage for NGOs in private business from a perspective of corporate social investment.
Do private business sponsor NGOs? Do they fund it?
Yes, there's a budget in place called, from the perspective of CSI. But, one thing that NGO, they need to explore, that's why we're complementing that mandate with this upcoming initiative we're rolling out in the country, that for private business to buy into their projects, to fund them, they need to complement the business mandate. You must understand that business, they don't just have money hanging around, which they say to give away.
Yeah.
Before they could inject any revenue on a specific project, they have to examine the return in investment strategy. What return in investment is into place for them to say, your project, it's now funding worthy. We can inject ABCD resources or ABCD money into it, So that's what this initiative is aiming to address, to also enlighten them with how to table the business development strategy for business to buy into their concepts. Because government, it is not only the door to knock for financial support.
Absolutely. Let's talk about those creative ways of securing funding, Daniel, and what, of course, your role will be in helping these NGOs and NPOs find these creative ways to approach companies and government alike for funding.
So what we've done, we've packaged a product. We've packaged a product, this masterclass initiative. What we're doing, we're taking them through a coaching method of proposal writing skill, how to come up with a business development.
Like a formal plan.
Absolutely. It's very comprehensive and it's buckled up. Like what they usually get to private business to say, why do you think that we must inject money into your project?
Yeah.
Do you understand? And then why do you think that we are a relevant sponsor to sponsor you on this specific initiative? So this coaching, it's mainly inclined to take them from the whole NGO garment. We complementing them into the business world to say, understand how business functions so that you can leverage from that business funding. You know what I mean? So there's quite a lot of things that they coming along with this initiative. We're coaching on proposal writing, we're coaching on M&E, financial literacy, marketing and PR. All of those things, they come in handy when you speak into business.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the seminars that you'll be holding. How are you getting those NGOs that need that type of creative ways to secure fundings, as an example? How are you getting them to join this initiative?
All right, so basically what we've done is we've engaged the National Department of Social Development, you know, as one of the strategic partners in this kind of an initiative. So what we're doing is they're acting as more of our convener in this case.
Okay.
So, you know, whenever we're going out on a rollout plane, like we're launching this on the 31st of March at the Morning Star Hotel. So basically we will be embarking on a rollout plane with specific provinces, but backed up by the national government to say, you know, which if we go into that specific area, they will do the talking on our behalf. They will do, but we also have, you know, a marketing and PR campaign in place to back up our rollout plane.
Yeah.
For others that, you know, they are, because of we more into the digital and technology, you know, world. So most of the NGOs and the NPOs, they are not on par with that kind of digital transformation. And that's what we're using to market and then to get the message out there.
Absolutely,
you know?
Move with the times.
Exactly. So there's still a red tape in that industry, but now we're relying, you know, a lot into government, the Department of Social Development. We're talking to them, you know, in terms of coming on board fully, you know, as the convening partner for us to roll out these strategies and this innovation in coaching on CSI and sponsorship.
You know, Daniel, when I started this interview in my intro, I said, you know, sometimes NGOs can be the only lifeline for those destitute communities. Now, how important is it that they get the knowledge to sustain them, to going out there and securing the funding for the people that cannot help themselves?
Alicia, funding is everything for these people. For any enterprise business, which is your NGO, for them to sustain, they need to go out there with a very innovative thinking of business to understand that business is sustained by real profits. So what these initiatives unfold, it's unfolding that kind of a coaching, you know, for them to sustain. We're giving them the future projection of how they can revamp their NGOs to be aligned with corporate business.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? So it's very key. It's everything for them to sustain, to understand the pros and the cons of how business thinks, because that's where money is.
Yeah.
Government, they don't have lucrative budgets for them to sustain for years and years and years. Do you understand? So corporate, that's their bread and butter in this case.
Look, how will those NGOs that will be attending benefit in terms of what you're going to be teaching them? We do know that there is a stigma around NGOs that they don't normally perform above standard or give above board services in turn to the people.
So how we have sort of come up with a way of how we develop this product. You know, we understand that a lot of NGOs, they don't understand how, you know, where the country is in terms of business, in terms of the thinking, in terms of strategy, you know. So, but we have developed a module in a way where we're dealing first with their subconscious mind. We prepare their mindset. We train them for their mindset to be fertile. For any product that we dropped there, it should have an impact towards them. It should bear fruits, all right? And then we also take them on phases. Our product is very, very much in phases inclined, you know. We take them on the phase one of the initiatives that we're teaching them. We're teaching them the proposal writing skills. Phase two, we're teaching them on how to account, monitoring and evaluation. Phase three, we're teaching them your project management, because for business to trust you with big money, you need to be loyal in small money.
Absolutely.
And that it comes with project management. You cannot account for R1 million budget if you are not loyal in 200,000 rand. It doesn't make sense. So, you know, we're teaching them those kind of things to say, you know, for you to sustain and to swim as a non-profit organization, these are the pros and the cons that they have to be in place. Follow this route map. You know, it's a cash machine initiative.
All right. So they will be well equipped once they leave the seminars. Thank you so much.
100%. It's well buckled up, Alicia. It's well buckled up. And we're doing it on the 31st. We're going on launch on the 31st, and then something very much exciting as well. We've brought in a very strong arm from the education perspective.
Oh wow!
There are new SGBs which are coming in power on the 1st of April.
Okay.
Those SGBs, they'll be coming in power on a fertile ground.
Okay.
We're launching the CSI Avatar program for e-schools.
Geez, there's so much going on, Daniel, but we have to leave it there.
One needs to revamp South Africa. We need to create a country worth living in. We cannot see what we see, you know?
Oh, wow. You know, I wish
we
everybody...
we need to skyrocket and table boost this economy.
Okay, Daniel, let's leave it there. I wish
All right.
everybody had your energy. We thank you so much for all these great projects that you're always coming up with to skill our people. We really do appreciate that. That is Mr. Daniel Mathibedi, a global funding as well as CSI coach. You can also be contacted on 012-783-8110. That number, 012-783-8110. And you can visit the website www.sa.itute.co.za.